Okay, good morning, everyone, and
Good
welcome
morning,
back.
sir.
Hope I'm audible and visible enough.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, it is. Good evening.
Very good.
Yes, sir, audible.
Okay, in the last class, in last 8 to 9 session, we talk about the different. I mean, we started the session with basic networking concept, right? We had a computer, right? Just a computer. You started with not having any knowledge. You just had a computer, you wanted to access the internet. Yes or no? Then we understand that if you have to access the facebook.com, your computer should be connected to the internet. Isn't it? Then you understood what is internet. You understand all the computer across the world are connected with each other, that we call as internet. One network is connected with another network that we call as internet. Right? That means one network is going on. If you connect your computer also with that network, that means your computer will be the part of that network that we call as internet, public network. That's the reason internet we also call as public network. Now, your network will be the part of that public network. So how your computer will be identified? We understand every computer should have a unique address. When your computer is a part of global network, public network, your computer should have a unique address, and that address we call as IP address, right? Yes or no? That computer we call as IP address. So what IP address means, what IP address your computer is having right now in the internet world, no computer across the world are having the same IP address. IP addresses are always the unique address. Yes or no? Your name may not be unique here, but IP addresses are unique over the internet. Understand? So as soon as you take the internet connection, your internet service provider assign the IP address to your system, then only you are able to connect. Without IP address, you will not be able to access the internet. You understand the version of IP address, IP version 4 and IP version 6, right? By understanding the growing demand of internet users, right? INA has introduced the IP version 6 internet protocol version 6 also. In internet protocol version 4, we have numbers 4 octet, right? Now internet version protocol version 6, we have numbers plus alpha, means alpha numeric combination with 6 octet, so that more combination and permutation can be created. So more number of IPs can be assigned to more number of users and systems. IP version 6, right? And then we understand the different type of IP address, static IP address and dynamic IP address. Means how an IP address will be assigned to your computer, right? You can log into your computer, right? Go on the LAN setting and configure IP address yourself. You understand? You did it. Yes or no? I had given the homework. Manually you can configure, right? And once you configure, that will be configured for a long time, till the time if it is an internet IP address, public IP address given by service provider, that IP address will be assigned to your computer till the time you have paid for. Yes or no? That's a fixed IP address. Static, that IP address we call it static IP address. That will be assigned manually by you. Understand? And another IP address is dynamic IP address, which can be assigned dynamically by the DHCP server. Yes or no? Dynamically, in the sense, you don't need to assign manually. Your computer, once you plug in the cable to connect to the Wi-Fi will be having the DHCP server, or your internet service provider will be having the DHCP server. Through that, it will configure an IP address dynamically, automatically to your computer. You need not to assign the IP address. Yes or no? That IP address is called as dynamic IP. So one advantage of going with the dynamic IP address is First of all, you need not to configure it manually yourself. And second advantage is you can
It's on
reutilize
demand.
the IP address, right? In internet world, when IP addresses are not free, right? We can reutilize the IP address, isn't it? So till the time you are connected to the internet, IP address is assigned to you. Once you disconnect, IP address will go back to the DHCP pool and can be reassigned to some other person. That is the advantage of IP address having DHCP, right? Then we understand IP address, DHCP static will be assigned to your computer. Now you can access the facebook.com. Then we talk about facebook.com is the domain, not the IP address. Then we talk about the DNS, because IP address we cannot remember. We remember the domain name, so we give some meaningful name so that we can remember. We talk about DNS server. Yes or no? Domain name server. So we need to create the record. We have to map domain with IP address, because our browser, our system only transfer and route this packet based on the IP address. Your browser do not understand the domain name. Yes or no? So somebody should be there to tell your browser, okay, this is the IP address of a particular domain or URL that you're entering. Yes or no? So once you enter, it will go to the DNS server to check what is the IP address associated with particular domain that you're entering. So for that, we need to have domain name server. So when you take the interconnection from ISP dynamically configure their DNS server. Not only IP address for your system, but also one more IP address of ISP's DNS server. So that once you access a website, your browser will send the request to the DNS server to get the IP address of particular domain. When you access the facebook.com, the request first go to the ISP DNS server to get the IP address of facebook.com. Then your connection will route and go to the facebook.com to get the page. DNS is very important. Yes or no? Because even though you are connected to the internet, without DNS resolution, you will not be able to access any website. Understand? Mapping of domain name website we call as a record. There are various type of record that I have given homework to you, SPF record, CNF record, all these. Yes or no? So a record, SMTP, DKMI, there are various type of DNS records. Understand? So that is server to restart nahi hua. That is the DNS, right? After that, once now you open the browser, access the facebook.com, your request will go to the Facebook and you get the Facebook page. Then we took the example to design the company network, right? You understand that two or more computer, if they want to communicate with each other, right? What we need? There are two networking devices, router and switches. Yes or no? We design SIEM expert network considering two objectives. One is our internal computer should be able to communicate with each other. And second thing, these computers should be able to access the internet. Then Aina came into the picture. Aina said that these three range of IP addresses are reserved for internal use. Anybody can use those IP address. Yes or no? Why don't you use this free IP address? Because when we plan to design the SIEM expert network, we have 4 lakhs of user. We thought 4 lakhs of public IP we have to buy. It's a huge cost. Yes or no? We are designing SIEM expert company. We are deploying. It's not an ISP network and huge number of IP address required, huge amount of crores of Indian rupees. Then Aina said that these three range of IP addresses are free. Why can't you use those three range of IP address? But Aina has written the star, means terms and condition. And terms and condition was you can only use those set of IP, series of IP internal to your network. Means internal communication of your system is possible within your local area network. But using those IP address, your computer cannot access the internet. It was good, and I was good for that okay, internal communication is possible, but I was standing on the same place when we talk about the internet access on the same place, because second objective was also very important when we talk about the internet access. Yes or no? So Aina reserved three range of IP address. That IP address we call as which IP range?
Private
IP.
Private IP.
Or
Private IP.
What are the range of private IP?
10.0.0.170.0.0 170.16.0.0 192.16.0.0
Who did not remember?
192.168, yeah.
Who did not remember? याद रखना है सबको. Everybody has to remember it. These are small interview questions. Very important. I'm telling you, tomorrow onwards, see, these 10 classes has gone, right? You learn it here. There were no much time required for you to do some homework, right? But tomorrow class onwards, you have to spend some time at your home, as well as in case you miss any class, you cover it, because if you miss any class, you will not understand further, I'm telling you. And if you miss the focus also, for example, I'm telling you, isolate yourself, because things are not difficult, I'm telling you. Things are difficult actually, but how I am going to explain you are not difficult. But if you miss anything, if you are diverting your mind somewhere else, then things are difficult for you. Subject is difficult, but I'm simplifying it for you. But if you are not focusing on it during the class, or in case, for example, you have certain understand certain problems you are not able to attend, right, certain times, but make sure that you complete it, because in case you miss a single topic, I'm explaining you here, further you will not understand. Get in mind? Because things are correlated with each other. Any single topic you do not understand, you will not understand further. Don't think that. And if you are not able to attend any class, complete it before the next class. Next class, definitely 101% you will not understand. So I'm telling you, next 2 months, almost 2.5 months, very important. Complete when you join the session, as well as complete the homework on time. Give some time. Do not miss anything. You understand, right? It's easy, and at the same time, it's little complex also. So don't take a risk to miss it. Okay? You'll be right following. So how I was where? I was telling that IP address, right? Private IP address and public IP address. So these three range of IP addresses are private IP address and
Public.
apart from that, other IP ranges are public IP range, right? Understand? Private and public. There are two type of another IP address, private and public. Then private IP range are free. Anybody can use internal to their network, right? So now, but our objective was to connect to the internet also. Mute your mic, please. Somebody not mute, please. Mute your mic, please. Somebody is not in mute. So our objective was to access the internet also. Yes or no? Access the internet also. So then, fortunately, we got to know the concept of netting, network address translation. We understand that we can even buy a single IP address, public IP address, and NAT means map private IP address with public IP address on the router. Router has this functionality called as NATing, network address translation, means mapping of one IP address with another IP address. That is called as NATing. But here we can map our private IP address with public IP address. So any computer having private IP address, once access the internet, it will go to the router, and router will map the private IP address with public IP address. Right? So using even private IP address, we can access the internet. Even with a single public IP address, or 1,000, even a lakhs of computer can access the internet with even a single public IP address, or both the object got fulfilled. Then we talk about how we can design the network. We understand if 2 or more computer wants to communicate with each other, we need to connect those computers with each other. So there are 2 networking devices. Yes or no? Router and switch. right? So switch means two or more computer. If both are the part of same network, same subnet, we have to connect the which device? Switch or router,
Switch.
right?
Switch.
And two or
Yes, sir.
more devices which are the part of different network, right? We have to use the
Router.
Router.
switch switches within the subnet or within the network, while router routes between the network. Two or
Between
more
the
network, different network. We have to route the communication. We have to use router.
Router.
The router and switches. We design the network. Right now, network has been set up. People are able to communicate outside. Outside, people are able to communicate inside. Yes or no? Then we talk about, okay, network has been set up. Now security of the network is also important. Yes or no? Otherwise, internal people can go outside. Okay, that's fine. But outside people also can come inside. Security also important. Before that, we understand how the communication happen on the digital communication. We understand communication, the digital communication happen in the form of packets. Packets having two parts, header and data. Yes or no? Header contains the control information, that means source information, destination information, source IP, destination IP, source port, destination port, and so on. And data contains the actual data or what data is being requested, that is contained on the data part. And who carries this packet from source to destination, that is called as transport protocol. And transport protocol are of two types, TCP and UDP.
UDP.
Yes, so TCP is more reliable, guaranteed delivery of data protocol, while UDP is not guaranteed delivery of data protocol, but it is faster protocol compared to TCP. TCP is acknowledge while sending each and every packet, while UDP do not use acknowledge. That is UDP is faster protocol. Video calling, live streaming, we use UDP, while text communication, where guaranteed delivery is required, we use TCP.
TCP.
Right? So those are the how communication happen on the digital communication packets. Then we talk about security. We talk about the firewall. Firewall works same as security guard in the digital network. Firewall, whenever any communication happens, any packet comes, firewall is layer 3 and layer 4 device. That means it can open up the header and read the IP address port and protocol. Firewall has the ACL. Any vendor firewall that you buy, it will connect to the cloud vendor, right? And update the ACL. ACL will have the dynamic and static. Dynamic ACL of any device is always being updated by the vendor. Here, the ACL information will be IP address and port number, or can be combination of IP address and port number, right? Ideally, ACL, which is updated by the vendor, is most probably IP address. Vendor does the research and check it out what are the IP addresses, are blacklisted IP address, or are being used by an attacker, or are involved in any kind of malicious activities. So any connection coming in, a part of the ACL connection will be blocked by the firewall. Yes or no? We can also allow or disallow any of communication based on the static rule. We can write on the rule what has to be allowed, what has to be denied as per the static rule. Sometime may be possible that firewall has allowed the traffic because as per the dynamic ACL, because as per the dynamic ACL does not have signature. Then we can manually block the traffic on the firewall, right? Whatever we define the static rule will give the first precedence, means priority compared to the dynamic rule. So certain time you investigate, being a SOC team, you came to know successful compromise happen or firewall allow the certain traffic, right? Yes or no? You investigated, certain attack happen, then you raise the case with the firewall team to block the traffic. That time firewall will block it, right? There are many cases will happen on a day-to-day SOC operations where you found and investigated that certain communication happen and firewall has allowed the traffic. That means firewall has failed to detect as suspicious as per the ACL, and you will ask firewall team to block the IP address on the firewall. That means the firewall team will block the IP address on the static list. Understand? The firewall, mute your mic, please. I'll give the time to ask the question. Mute it. I'll keep you on I'll move you in waiting room. What I'm saying, firewall, right? So firewall not only filter the inbound communication, but also outbound. Yes or no? Firewall filter out inbound as well as outbound. both direction communication will be filtered out by the firewall. So firewall is the layer 3 and layer 4 device. Understand? Behind the firewall. Now, after that, we understand web application firewall. Web application firewall name itself suggests it's for web application. Understand? Any application which are hosted in DMZ zone, demilitarized zone, which are having a server which are having public IP address, which we are giving access to the outside user. Yes or no? Means outside user can access those applications. For web application servers, we use web application firewall, which works on the application layer. Understand? Which have the access in the application part of the packet, data part of the packet. So anybody running any malicious commands, which is part of data packet, we can detect as per the web application firewall. Again, it is having ACL and everything. Based on that, it can detect. Then we talk about the email gateway, filter out the email traffic, right? Based on the various spam email, spoof email, malware emails, any emails coming in and going out, it can filter out based on the emails. Any malicious email will get quarantined, will get blocked. Any analyst will review those emails. In case email is legitimate, he will release. Otherwise, he may delete it. We talk about the proxy. Yes or no? Proxy may safeguard your users from accessing any malicious site. It will block, because proxy vendor, any of site coming in the internet, proxy vendor review it and they will categorize it. They will review and categorize. For malicious category, they may categorize malware category, phishing category, like that. So any website belongs to malware, phishing category, spoof category, adult category, will be blocked for everybody. And they will again review for other categories also, for example, social engineering, social media, live streaming. So using proxy, we cannot only safeguard our users, our network from malicious site, but also we can regulate the internet access. What site our internal user can access, we can create the internet access group and we can give the respective access. Yes or no? Using the proxy. So that is the proxy, right? Proxy means somebody else is doing on behalf of you, right? That is, we call as proxy. Then we talk about antivirus yesterday, right? We talk about antivirus. Antivirus, if proxy failed, something has been downloaded, email gateway failed, something has been delivered, right? You may open, system may get compromised. We have the antivirus, right? Antivirus scan the file, and anything is found suspicious, antivirus may delete it, clean it, right? Or left alone, it will generate an alert. You have to take action. We talk about antivirus, we talk about IPS IDS. So these are the different security devices. Apart from that, you may have several other security devices also, but these are the standard security devices which you will find in majority of the IT infrastructure. These are the standard devices which you will find in majority of IT infrastructure. You know, securing your data, you understand, right? Different companies work on different industries, keeping their data on the server or in the storage. Their data means maybe their project information and several times users information, your credit card, debit card information, user personal information, that means personal identification information. Yes or no? Certain companies, based on their work environment, follows different compliance policies based on what kind of data they are storing. Compliance policy is nothing but a set of rules. Compliance are nothing but the set of rules that government has created. Every country's government has created. Understand? Every country's government has created certain compliance rule. For example, if you are doing this business in this category, you are coming under this compliance. You should be certified. Then only you will get this project. Any company will give you this project if you are following this compliance. Government will give this project if you are following this compliance. You can do this business if you're following this compliance. Compliance means set of rules. Understand? Which is created and approved by the government of any of the countries. Set of rules. Compliance says that if you're handling this kind of data, right, you have to ensure that customer data information should be secure. Because securing your data, and in order to secure the data, deploying several different types of security tools, setting the security center, is not always that companies are bothering about the security of your data. They are having much more concern of securing the customer data. Not always. It's the compliance which are pushing them to ensure that they should have the respect to security devices deploy in their network. They should have SOC team to monitor the network activities 24/7. It's a compliance. It's a government which creates certain compliance policies which force those companies to ensure that they should have those standard devices which are the part of compliance to ensure the security of customer information, customer data. So it's a compulsion for those companies that those companies has to deploy certain security tools, and they should have a SOC team. They should have to monitor their environment 24/7 for any kind of real-time threats, incidents, attacks. It's not something that they always bother about, concern about the data security. It's a government who has the concern. Because if your data, a public data, will go in the wrong hand, yes or no, will be misused, it's not a loss of company always, right? Maybe it may not give the financial loss always to the company, right? But it's a loss of the public. Yes or no? It's a loss of a government. It's a loss of a whole country. That's the reason government always creates certain kind of compliance policies which those companies has to follow. Clearly written, which if you are in medical field, what kind of data you are following, clearly written on those compliance policy. If you are in a telecom company, which compliance you have to follow, clearly written. Okay, this means minor policies written. For example, you have to deploy firewall as per this compliance that you're following. And firewall, what policy you have to return, how many administrators should be, and what policy you have to return, everything minor configuration even written on the compliance policy. For example, if you have to deploy a SIEM, then how long you have to, for logs, how long you have to hold the logs. I mean, small policy it is written on the compliance policies. Understand? As of now, you don't have understanding of SIEM and everything, but I'm telling you that which all security devices you should have in your environment. You should have SIEM deploy. You should have a SOC team, centralized team to monitor your network 24/7. That is written on the compliance policies. So it's not something that companies always bother about the security. It's the government who force them that these kind of attacks are happening, right? You have to ensure that you should have these standard security devices, or now they keeps adding. Government also keep adding certain security devices in their portfolio of compliance. And SOC and SIEM and new team like EDR and all, they keep adding to ensure the extended security. They keep adding. And company who are following those compliance, they have to also keep deploying. Otherwise, the license will get cancelled. They can't continue the business. They will not be certified. Now, the reason is, now, for example, now how the government will come to know whether any company is following the compliance, the set of rule has been created by the government, any company is following or not. Yes or no? So what happens is every year government will send their people to those companies. We call them auditors. You might have heard this word, audit is happening. I'm very busy actually. I'm not even able to get time to eat because audit is happening in the company. Audit means हिंदी में बोलते हैं हिसाब किताब. Audit means checks. auditor, external auditor from government will come to the company, he will ask you to showcase this means what are you following, showcase whether you develop the firewall or not, showcase whether you have integrated firewall with SIEM or not, showcase whether you have SIEM tool deploy or not, showcase whether SIEM tool you are keeping the log for 5 years or not as per the compliance, showcase how many administrators are there on the SIEM or not, showcase how many team members you have in SOC or not, how many users are created on the SIEM. So many checks they will do to ensure that you're following the compliance. If any ambiguity they will find, they may cancel the license also. Means you may not be compliant. Your company will become non-compliant. Get mind? That is the reason. It's not only the company who are having concern that okay, they are setting a SOC because they are much more concerned about the customer security. It's the government, understand, who are actually bothered about the customer, their public security, their public security of data, public data security. Understand? Clear? So that is the reason. Several tools, the SOC. We nowadays, especially from UK, we are getting many calls. Our team and in market also, many companies are getting many projects from UK because now they have recently implemented one of the compliance where they have pushed this, added this SOC. They have added this SOC and SIEM deployment. So the people are not unaware the SIEM is something that and SOC and all. They are not even aware of that. And now they are calling and they are saying that we are not bothered about which SIEM we have to deploy. Just we need to deploy a SIEM and we have to enable the SOC. We are not bothered about which SIEM we need to deploy, but we just need to follow the compliance. Mean they are least bothered about which SIEM, how we monitor, but they are mostly bothered about to follow the compliance. Understand? Clear? So now you understand the security devices that we have discussed so far. The security devices that we have discussed so far mostly work based on signature, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Predefined signature. And now, if any of the device does not have signature, means successful compromise will happen, isn't it? Means device will get failed to detect and successful compromise will happen. And this thing will happen many times in a network because these signatures are predefined information, right? People like you, me, and other are actually updating this information. पतला क्यों चल रहा है आज? ये मोटा है, ये ज्यादा ही पतला है. अरे चलो ऐसे ही चलाता हूँ. People like you, me, and others working in the company, right? Who does the research? Yes or no? Are updating the information on these devices. So you understand, in case any of these devices does not have signature, your network is prone to be compromise. Yes or no? That kind of attack we call as
Zero day attack.
DDoS.
अरे DDoS कौन बोला? Who said
Zero day attack.
Zero day attack.
Zero day
DDoS.
attack.
Zero day attack, right? Zero day.
Yes.
Zero day attack. Right. That kind of attack we call a zero day attack, right? When none of your devices in the network are having signature to detect it. That kind of attack we call as zero day attack, right? Now,
Sorry, sir. Sir,
yes?
0 day attack means any days in between, like any time period.
Zero day means today, now. Something happened now, nobody is aware of that, right? That called as zero.
Present attack.
percent.
Right. Means none of your device is aware of that. It is 0 day for them, right? It suddenly happen.
Okay.
If we decode that, means something is happening just now, nobody is aware of that, right? That is 0 day. Something surprise for you. Surprise means 0 day. Okay. So 0 day attack means when none of your devices in the networks are having signature to detect it. You have various devices. पतला कैसे चलेगा आज पेन? But none of your devices are having signature to detect it. That attack is called as 0 day attack. You understand in last class that each and every devices in the network are recording their activity in the form of logs, right? For example, I log in the Windows. This is a Windows machine, right? I log in. You have username and password in the Windows. Generally, username and password you create, right? So that only you can log in. Other people should not see your private information. Once I log into Windows, my information will be recorded to the Windows. Okay, this name Sulabh Misra has logged in. Login got success. At what time he has logged in, that information will be captured. I logged in, that at what time I log in, and username Sulabh Misra will capture. And login successful. If I login failed, then it will capture at what time particular user have a login and login got failed. That information will capture in the form of logs. Yes or no? If somebody or later on I will log in, I can see, okay, what time. For example, I left my laptop somewhere and you log in and you try with me and leave Sulabh.misra and wrong password. Later on, I can log in and see log in my system and see somebody tried login and login got failed because it has got recorded. Understand? Logs are nothing but the evidence. You touch this, right? You touch something, your fingerprints will be recorded. Forensic team will come and they capture the fingerprints. Yes or no? Means you touch this, somebody came, this, the shoes prints also they will record. Means somebody came, evidence. Similarly, these devices will record, all these network devices, security device, servers, application databases will record activities in the form of logs, right? You log in the system, which username has login, at what time you have login failed, login success, account enable, account disable, right? And then you log in, open the Excel file, what you have edited, you close, modified, what you have done, you change the password, created username, deleted user, means whatever activity you do, it's an activity, right? Will be recorded. If I log in and see where it is being recorded, generally in Windows, it is the application called as event viewer. It depends on the system to system and device to device. But if you talk about Windows, there's an application in Windows called as event viewer. In the event viewer, we can see in the later part also, I will tell you, we can see all the activities logs are being collected in the viewer. But for your information, all the devices somewhere on the systems, they're collecting the logs. Okay, so means any activity is an event. As I told about, right? For you, your marriage is an event, but for these devices, every activity is an event, and that will be recorded in the form of logs, right? We can see anytime what activity happened, right? For example, switch, some connection is happening, switch is coming between. We can see this IP has been connected somewhere. We can log in the switch and see. Yes or no? Similarly, firewall coming between, some connection has been came, for example, this particular source IP going to this particular destination IP. Yes or no? Source port, destination port, all will be recorded in the firewall logs. Somebody log in the firewall, that is also recorded. Firewall down, firewall restarted. Yes or no? That all activities will be recorded in the form of logs. Understand? You understand? Every devices in the network, whatever activities happening on those devices are being recorded in the form of logs. Clear?
No.
So anytime if you want to see what activity happen, we can log in and see. Clear, everybody? Yes or no?
I have a
Yes,
question
sir.
here.
Yes.
Yes. What question you have? Go ahead.
Sir, if the CPU and the RAM, the utilization of the resources of the devices got increased suddenly, so that also we can see on system.
CPU and memory utilization generally we can see by logging in the system, but those are not being recorded in the form of logs. But in your Splunk, there is a script using which those can be recorded in the form of logs as a script. But by default, CPU and memory utilizations are not being recorded in the form of logs because those are not activities. Those are processes, not activities. So those are by default not being recorded in the form of logs. But when we talk about Splunk is having some script. Using a script, it can generate the logs. Understand? But by default, these systems do not record the log. For example, he is telling CPU utilization can be checked in the form of logs, but it do not generate the logs. For example, a particular minute, what is the CPU utilization? It do not generate in the form of logs. In the task manager, you can go and see the CPU memory utilization, but it do not record in the form of logs.
In the Farfman, we can see, right?
What?
In Farfman, in the Windows, we can see the resource utilization logs, right?
See, but those are not logs. Those are processes, but not logs. Okay, those are not being recorded in the event viewer. Those are not logs, but we have option and various SIEM tool. We have the, for example, in Splunk. Splunk have a script. Using a script, it can generate the logs. But by default, this Windows device do not create a log itself. It record
That log,
in the task manager, we can see. Okay.
Sir,
log means all record, all activities record. Log means.
What?
Log means all activities record.
Right. Activity record. Correct. Log means all record of all activities.
Sir, one thing.
What's about flows?
What?
What about flows, sir?
Flows are session information. Generally, network devices, session information, right? The session establishment information that is called as flow. Router switches generate the flow.
Sir, what is the main difference between logs and flows, sir?
Logs are actual communication, while flows are the session information. Session establishment information.
Sir, by default, by any mistakes, if some malware is installed in any system, and because of that malware, someone is doing some background things like she's compromising some systems or she's getting some details from other systems and all these things, then how can we detect that?
That we'll discuss on the later, but not now. That is the part of the training. That is the part of the training, but not at this moment.
That can be detected. That can be detected.
Of course. That is what we are going to learn it here. Okay, but not at this moment. We are on very initial stage.
So the context behind the asking the question is like suppose if we are running some services on the Linux machine and the services is utilizing more RAM and CPU. Okay, but the system is not having the enough resources.
I told you, right? I think this is not. I told you that when we done, I will tell you in the later period. Once we talk about Splunk can do that. We can monitor memory and CPU. I understand your concept, but that can be done. I told you, right? That can be done. Memory utilization, CPU utilization, all logs can be collected in the Splunk. Like ArcSight, SIEM tool does not have capability, but Splunk has that capability. Okay, memory, CPU utilization, memory, CPU, disk utilization logs can be collected as a part of a Splunk. Splunk has that capability. Because we don't have time right now. This is the last session of the free session. I need to set certain topic. You are the part of regular training. It all can be discussed. I have to discuss certain things. So I cannot leave this. That is the reason. Okay, that is a separate thing. You are the part of regular training. You can ask on the later period. Okay, certainly I have to cover this. That is the reason
What is the main difference between firewall and IPS IDS? Main differences.
Main difference is firewall work only layer 3, layer 4, but IPS work on layer 3, layer 4 as well as layer 7. That is the main difference. Okay. Now you understand. As I said, these devices record all the activities in the form of logs. Get it, mind? See, guys who are the part of regular training, you have enough time. You will have enough time to ask a number of questions, right? Since today is the last class for this free session, there are certain topics which are left. I am thinking to cover it so that they will have complete idea of the SOC. Right? Tomorrow onwards, you'll have enough time to cover, to ask any question. Okay, so what I'm saying is, now you understand each and every logs devices will record the activities in the form of logs, event in the form of logs, right? So at the time of any zero-day attack, right? Whenever some attack will happen, zero-day attack, when none of the devices are able to detect it, means successful compromise will happen. Somehow, for example, through firewall logs, or somehow you were monitoring and you come to know some attack is happening, but you are not having clear picture. In order to get more information, right? You have to see the logs, means you have to check the activities. To see the logs, now you have to log in on each and every devices. You need a firewall log, for example, you need a email gateway log to check the email, you need the Windows log, switch logs, router logs. To get the complete information, you need to log in on each and every device to get the log, to see the logs, to investigate further, analyze the logs. Yes or no? That means you have to log in on each and every devices to see the analyze the logs. And we understood in the last class also that these devices generate the logs in the different format, raw format. There is no specific format, there is no standard format on which they generate the logs. Yes or no? Different devices generate the log on different format. There is no standard format. Understand? So log in on each and every devices at a time of attack where the logs are on different format is a time-taking procedure. And also you may not be expert on understand each and every devices. So reading the logs, understanding the logs, analyzing the logs may not be the cup of tea for everybody. Yes or no? Because format is maybe completely different. There is no standard. Yes or no? And these are raw format. For example, one notepad kind of file will be there. One log is starting from here, one log is starting from here to here, here to here, here to here, here to here. There is no proper format. Kind of mass. There is no proper breakdown. Okay, one log, then 2 log, 3 log, 4 log, 5 log. Okay, there is no proper breakdown of the event. Understand? So logging on each and every devices and reading these raw logs is very difficult. Maybe possible. Maybe take it may take a day for you, for example, right? Attacker may come inside and will do his work in next 10 minutes. He will go outside. That means you're doing historical kind of analysis. You're not able to take the active action. Understand? Because there is no breakdown of the events. There is no and there is no standard format, different formats. And it's a big challenge, right? And again, logging on each and every devices within short period of time, analyzing the logs is a big challenge. In this case, we have to introduce one device, one tool, one technology that we call as
SIEM.
SIEM, right? SIEM, Security Information and Event Management. Security Information and Event Management. Security Information and Event Management is a centralized tool which collects the real-time logs from network devices, security devices, servers, application, databases. I will ask you to write that definition. I will tell you to write it. SIEM is centralized tool which collect the real-time log. Real-time means as soon as any activity happen, they generate the logs and send the real-time logs. Real time means immediately within 180 millisecond. May possible that these devices are, for example, in USA, your SIM is in India. Within 180 millisecond is the maximum latency, maximum time. If within 180 millisecond, if you're not receiving, will not call as a real time. Maximum latency is 180 millisecond. You understand, right? Less than a second. 180 millisecond logs will travel from USA to India. Understand? So your SIEM will collect the real-time logs from network devices, security devices, servers, application, databases. Once it collects the logs, it will parse the logs. Parse the logs means, for example, proper breakdown. It will proper break down the logs. For example, one log is starting from here to here, here to here, here to here, here to here. There is no proper breakdown, right? Means it's kind of mess. It started from here to here, then here to here, here to here, here to here. There is no proper, from where it is starting, where it is ending, there is no proper breakdown. There is no proper column and row and column, right? So parsing means like this, you can understand for now, proper breakdown. For example, source IP, destination IP, source port, destination port, like this, 1 event, 2 event, 3 event, 4 event, like this. Proper formatting, breaking down the events into columns. Yes or no? That is called as parsing. And once it collects the log, it will parse the log. For example, in raw format, raw starting from here to here, then here to here, here to here. It's difficult to understand from where one log is starting, where it is ending. It's completely raw format. But after parsing, proper format. Proper format, right? That is called as parsing. We'll deep down the later period how the parsing will happen properly, and we'll understand the clear. We'll have the clear understanding. As of now, just knowledge you gain. So once SIEM will collect the log, it will parse the logs, normalize the logs. Different devices are having different field. For example, for one device, source IP, it record as source. Other device, source IP. Other device, source address. Other device, SRC. All are source only, but they are giving different name. You understand, right? Source IP means from where the connection being, the IP address of the device, from where the connection being originated. Source is when you're coming from the train, right? What is the source station? Source station means from where the train is started. From where the train is started, right? That is called a source station. Source IP means the IP address of the system from where the connection generated.
Where device.
Right?
Yes.
So the in-between devices also record the IP address of the system, right? Some device will record as source IP, some device SRC. SRC means again source IP only. Some device source, some device source address. Meaning is source IP only, but different name. The compliance saying that, okay, it is not going to work like this. You should have give some common name. You give either source IP or source address or SRC, but give the common name. Every device field name should be same. Should be readable, easily readable to anyone. Otherwise, you will get confused. Okay, router is recording source IP or source address. Firewall is recording source IP or SRC. Always will be in confusion, right? So once we get the on the SIEM, every device will be following a standard common field set, not separate field set. Understand? That process we call as normalization. So normalization, for now you understand, unreadable format log to the readable format. That we call normalization. But actually it is mapping of different field to the common field. That will understand exactly meaning of normalization on the later period. For now you understand unreadable logs to the readable format for now. Understand? So what is SIEM? SIEM is a centralized tool which collect the real-time logs from network devices, security devices, servers, application, databases, etc. Once it collect the log, it parse the logs, proper breakdown, normalize the logs. We understand normalization means unreadable to readable format or different devices format field to the common format. SRC, source, all will be mapped with the source IP. Was just one field. Similarly, destination, other field also mapped. We'll talk about practically later period, right? So it collect the log, it pass the logs, normalize the logs, and then keep the logs for a long time In the SIM, you can keep the logs for a long time, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 years, 10 years. That is another work of the SIM. These devices may not be keeping the log for a long time. For example, firewall may keep for 1 year, but switch only keep the log for 2 months. Your Windows has the capability to keep for 1 month. If something happen, fraud happen, you need to have 2 years logs. These devices may not have ability to keep for 2 years. Yes or no? Different devices are having different capabilities. Some device may have, some device may not have. So now you have common device which have capability to keep the log for long time. So once SIEM will collect the logs, it can keep the logs for long time based on the retention period defined. Retention period means how long you want to keep the logs. You can define it here. Understand? Clear my point? So how long you want to keep the log here means what period you want to keep the log here, store the log here. We can define on the SIM. 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 years based on compliance requirement. Compliance means government will write based on the type of industries. For example, financial client of banking or financial companies will have to keep the 5 years logs. IT company 2 years logs. Yes, so construction 2 years. Based on what compliance they follow, right? So based on the compliance requirement, we have to keep. Based on company requirement, for example, compliance says that 5 years, but I want to keep it for 7 years. We can keep it for 7 years. Means you have to follow the compliance. Over and above, it's your requirement. But what compliance says, that much you have to keep at least. Forensic requirement, you want to keep it more, you can keep it for more. Right? Based on compliance requirement, organization, forensic requirement, you can keep it for long year. And it enables you searching a reporting feature. Searching or reporting means anytime now, whenever their attack happen, now no need to log in on each and every devices. Just log in on your SIM. Write the query you want firewall logs. Give the query for firewall. What period of log you want? Just select the time. Write the query, select the time, you get the logs. You get the logs on SIM console, web console. Download the logs of CSV format, Excel format, PDF format. Download the logs. You want to analyze in Excel, you can analyze it. Yes or no? You get the report. No need to log in on each and every device. Just give the, you want router log, give the router query. You want switch log, give the switch query. Means whatever logs you want, whatever device logs, no need to log in on each and every device now. Just log in your SIM, select the time, give the query, get the logs. At the time of attack or any time you want any logs, just select the time and get the logs. Understand?
Where it shows the logs are in cloud or local storage?
This SIM can be either in cloud or in the local. If you talk about the local, then it will be on local. If you're using cloud SIM, it will be stored on the cloud. It depends.
Local storage gets deleted or
what?
if local storage gets
How it got deleted? For what purpose we are here then? Nothing is happening automatically, right? It is happening automatically? No. Being an admin, until unless we do not delete, it will not get deleted. Understand? Proper backup is also happening. It will not delete it. It will not get deleted unless we are not doing anything. Yes or no? Okay. Clear? Let's write the definition. One more point has to be discussed from SIM perspective. Real-time monitoring, correlation analytic. But you write this first, then we'll discuss further. One more point.
So basically, SIM is just for keeping the logs.
One more point is there. But first you write and read once. Then one more point is there, important point that you understand, we will understand and then discuss. First you write this point. What is SIM? One more important point is there that we'll discuss. SIM stand for
Security information and event management.
Security information and
event management.
security information event management.
Event management, right? Security information and event management. SIM stands for Security Information Event Management. It is the centralized tool. It is the centralized tool. Today's session will be extended till 10:30, most probably. Okay, so be ready. In case you have office, you can leave and you watch the recording. Tomorrow onwards till 10 o'clock, but we will start by 8:15. Okay, today 10:30. What I was
sorry to interrupt, sir. One question. So tomorrow link meeting
will be separate,
like
separate link. Tomorrow I will share
Separate.
the link on the group to register. Then we'll review and then approve. Tomorrow authentication link will be shared. So only people who has enrolled will review your information, then approve, then you'll get the link on the email, unique link. You can only join from one device at a time.
If anyone needed
On
a
email, sir.
recorded link,
What?
recorded link, then
No.
if anyone needed a recorded link for
I will tell
later,
you, the recording link will not be shared, as I communicated initially, right? I will tell you, let me complete this session, then I will explain other things. So SIM is a centralized tool which collect the SIM is centralized. SIM stand for Security Information Event Management, which it is a centralized tool which collects the real-time logs from network devices.
Which collects, sir?
Which collect the real-time logs. Which collect the real-time logs. Which collect the real-time logs from network devices. Which collects the real-time logs from network devices. Security devices. Server security, network security servers, network security servers, applications, network device security device servers, applications, databases, etc. Application database, etc. Once it collect the logs, once it collect the logs, पार्स की स्पेलिंग यही होती होगी मेरे ख्याल से, है ना? एसएच होती है, पार्स की स्पेलिंग ये होती है ई, हाँ पार्स, ARSE. Once it collect the log, it parse the logs. Once it collect the it pass the log, normalize the logs. Normalize the logs. Normalize the logs. Normalize the logs. And keep the logs for long time. Keep the logs long time. And keep the logs for long time based on the retention period, based on the retention period. Configured, based on the retention period configured. Based on the retention period configured in bracket. In bracket, based as per compliance requirement or organization forensic requirement, bracket close, or organization forensic requirement.
So come again, I didn't get it.
क्या लिखा?
As per compliance requirement or organizational forensic requirement.
Right. As per the compliance requirement and or organizational compliance forensic requirement. Right?
Forensic requirement.
Comma. It enables us the searching and reporting feature. It enables us the searching and reporting feature. It enables us the searching and reporting feature. Searching and reporting feature. That means it's more detail I'm asking you to write more detail just for your understanding. That means we can write the query that means in bracket में लिख दो bracket में that means in bracket that means starting from bracket. Okay, that means we can write the query, select the time and see the log from any device. See the logs from any device. See the logs from any device. See the logs from any device on the SIEM console. and can download it in various formats. And can download it in various formats. And can download it in various formats. And can
Sir,
download.
we are going to learn deployment part also.
What?
We are going to learn deployment part also. How
Deployment
to deploy
means
the SIEM.
we'll install it in Windows, but completed deployment we will not cover because it will go out of your head. Deployment is a separate batch we have for deployment, but this training will not go for deployment perspective. We don't have this kind of audience here in this training for deployment. This is from SOC operations perspective. SOC operations perspective.
Okay.
SOC operations also, I will check till what level you understand. Because in SOC operations also certain time I think that, okay, let me touch this topic also. But when I see it is going out of your head, then I come back. Because I like to share as much as knowledge I can share with you. I do not see that, okay, this is out of the syllabus. I like to share the knowledge as much because once you pay, it's my responsibility to make you expert. But it's a capacity of everybody. We can't eat all together. Mute your mic. Here, who is not in mute? Kasif, let him. I'm putting you in waiting room. People are joining and they are not listening. Kasif and one more guy, Quena. Let him put waiting room. So written right. Now you understand as of now. You understand first meaning of SIM? It collect the real-time logs. Means as soon as activity will happen on these devices, they will collect the logs and they will send the logs on the SIM. Understand? Clear? Real-time logs. Real-time, as soon as activity happen, logs will come on the SIM. Yes or no? Once SIM collect the log, it parse the log. Means proper breakdown of the log will happen because those logs are raw format. Raw vegetables, right? Raw, you can't eat raw vegetable, right? You are hungry, but still daily you can't eat raw vegetable, right? Cooked food you can eat and fill your stomach, but you can't eat raw vegetables, raw food. You need to cook it. Yes or no? You can see this is a cooked food and these are raw vegetables. That's the reason these logs, the devices logs, these logs we call as raw logs. These devices logs generate the log we call raw logs, right? And after parsing, proper breakdown we call parse logs. After that, they will get normalized, we call normalized logs. Raw logs, parse logs, then normalized logs. These are three phases. Understand? These are three phases. So these are raw logs. Different ways that they own format, right? Different vegetables, right? Vegetables and different things you mix together, right? And make a tasty food, right? So, so these SIM will collect the real-time logs from network device security. These are typical IT infrastructure devices, right? Network device, security device, servers, application, databases. So once it collect the logs, it parse the logs, normalize the logs. For some SIM tool, while it collect the logs, parsing will happen. But at the same time, some SIM, it will get normalized also. Some SIM solution, normalization happen at the later part. Some SIM tool only will collect the logs, parse the log, and store the logs. Normalization happen at the later stage. But normalization is mandatory for all the SIM to keep the logs in the common format, easily understandable format. Get it? But not while receiving. Understand? We'll deep down on the normalization also on the later period, but I'm just giving the lightweight information for now. Technical understanding also will have on the later period. Okay. So once it collect the logs, It parse the logs for formatting, normalize the logs, and keep the logs for a long time based on a configured retention period. How long retention you have configured here, how long you want to hold. Based on that, you have to assign the storage also to store the logs. It will keep. Then you have the option to search the logs. Search bar will be there. You write the query, give the time, 1 month log, 1 month, 2 days log, 2 days, 1 year log, 1 year. And then you can see the logs on the search console of your SIEM, as well as you can download the logs on the various format. PDF, CSV, Excel, JSON, different format. Understand? Clear this? Till here, everybody is clear? Yes or no? Now, you understand, my challenge was that at the time of zero-day attack, whenever I'm investigating, I had to log in on each and every devices. That is one by concern. And again, those devices generate the logs in the raw format, unreadable format. That is second concern. And third concern, those devices are not keeping the log for a long time for forensic perspective. That is third concern. All these concerns got resolved because now I have to log in on SIEM device only, one device, and those logs also common format. And I just need to log in this device. I need not to log in on each and every devices. I can get the log. But you know, attackers do not wait for anybody. You never know that when the attack will happen in your company. Yes or no? Attacker will not tell you, okay, by 2 o'clock in the midnight, I will initiate the attack. Then you keep ready and then start for investigation. You keep ready for the investigation. Attacker is not going to call you. Yes or no? That, okay, 24th January, by 2 o'clock, I will start the attack. Then you start your defense. He's not going to inform you. Yes or no? That means you have to be ready all the time. Yes or no? That means you have to keep monitoring your network all the time. Yes or no?
Yes,
But
sir.
now the challenge here again is, even though you have the SIEM tool here, we know that these devices will record all the activity in form of logs. You know, these devices will generate huge amount of logs, billions of logs per day, billions of logs. The firewall itself will generate billions of logs per day, many millions of logs per day, and whole network devices generate billions of logs. You'll not believe a typical IT infrastructure is having 500 devices, for example, may generate 10,000 to 15,000 event per second. Event means logs. 10,000 to 15,000 event. Event means activity, and we generate the logs. So sometimes I may call as event, sometimes I may call as log. Not only me, but people also, right? So you understand now, but meaning is different, but you understand the common thinking. People may call as log also, may call as event also. Understand? So 10,000 to 15,000 event per second just for 500, between 500,000 devices. More the activities, more the logs. Yes or no? 10,000 to 15,000 event per second. एक बार में मिल का हमारा 10,000 events. Once I close my eyes and open 10,000 new event, 10,000 new event, 10,000 new event. How many event you will analyze here? Even now, you need not to log in each and every devices. For example, this is SIEM console. This is SIEM console for you. For example, this is SIEM console, search console. Okay. Now you are running this searches here. Logs are coming. You're running this. Well, close your eyes. 10,000 event. Close your eye down for 10,000. How many logs you will open and see? You want to see suspicious activities, right? So how many logs you will be able to open and see which activity is suspicious, which is not. Maybe many of the activity is not suspicious, and some of the activity in between is suspicious. Do you think that in this 1,000 of events per second means millions of logs? in a minute and billions of logs per day, will you able to analyze, investigate, and check which is suspicious, which is not? Will you able to monitor each and every event yourself manually as a person, as a human being? Will you be? But if you want to monitor network, you understand, you have to monitor and check manually, because devices based on their ACL, they're already monitoring, right? And many times firewall will block, IPS will block, proxy will block. We are not bothered about, because they have already defended the attack. But we are here in case they are unsuccessful, they are unable to detect and successful penetration happen. That's the reason we are here to monitor. But do you think that it is possible to monitor billions of logs per day, each and every activity as a human being? No, right? Then we have to ask our SIEM, Bhaiya, do one thing. You only find some way and do something for us. You monitor on behalf of us. We'll request SIEM, do something on behalf of us. SIEM will tell, okay, that's fine, I can do it. But on what basis I will decide, okay, I can monitor? Human design the computer, but computer is faster than human. Yes or no? Human can do everything what computer can do, but computer faster than human. Yes or no? Isn't it? Computation is faster. Computer means computation, right? Which is faster than human. So that is what we are asking. As a human being, even we have several analysts, we can't monitor billions of logs. So we can ask our SIEM to perform this monitoring activities on behalf of us. SIEM ask us, okay, I will do it. Okay, that's okay, I can do it, I can monitor it, I can help you out. But on what basis I will decide particular activities, particular event is suspicious, so that I can generate alert for you, I can generate an alert. Yes or no? We have told SIEM, do one thing, you monitor each and every alert, each and every event, billions of event, and whenever you found any event or set of event is suspicious, you generate an alert. So instead of monitor billions of event per day, we monitor few alerts, 100, 200 just alert which you generate. Get mind? Instead of monitoring 1 million event, 2 billion event, SIEM will generate 100, 200 alerts per day. Those alerts we can easily monitor, right? Understand? So we ask our SIEM, you monitor billions of logs and generate alert in case any suspicious found. We investigate those alert and monitor, and then we'll take action. But now SIEM ask us, okay, I will do it, but on what basis I will decide that particular event is suspicious and particular event is not suspicious? How will I decide? There will be some parameter, right? Based on that, I can decide, okay, this particular activity is suspicious. Yes or no?
Use cases.
Codation rules.
Understand? Yes. So now we have to tell the condition. We have to tell the condition to SIEM tool. Okay, if this condition matches, this log condition, event condition, we have to tell. Okay, this condition matches, then generate an alert. For example, let's take an example of brute force. In your network, for example, when you are logging to your machine, you enter wrong password. Login will get failed. Login will get failed, right? Machine will generate an event, login failed. This particular user has login. What's your name? Harsh. Login get failed. Harsh has login to this particular time to this machine, this particular IP address, and login got failed. One email generated gone to the SIEM. Now Harsh will enter again. Harsh may think that he forgot the password, or he may enter wrong password. He will try to again. He will again enter, again fail. 2 3 times he will enter. If he forgot, then he will try to call service desk or desktop team to reset the password. He will not try 50 times in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. He will not try 100 times. Yes or no? So 2, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times login failure happen. So do you think it's suspicious activity? No, right? This login failure is not a suspicious activity if it is less in number, 2, 3 times. But for example, in 2 minutes, if for the same user, if there are 50 login failure, so what do you think? It is suspicious activity, or it can be it is not a suspicious activity, or it can be a suspicious activity?
It can be a
It
is a
it can be a brute force activity. It can be a brute force activity. Maybe one particular attacker is inside and trying to gain the access by doing the brute force, by utilizing his credential, his username, and keeping the username same and trying to multiple combination of password. In that case, every time a script will run and try with a different password, every time one event will generate and 50, 60, 70. Yes or no? So I can create a condition here. In this case, I can write a condition for login failure of Windows. I can define the condition and aggregation. I can define the condition. Login failure condition I can define, and I can define aggregation means count. How many count I want in aggregation? 50, for example, 50 count or more than 50 in 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, in 2 minute time, if more than 50 login failure happen, then generate an alert. Yes or no? Means aggregation, condition plus aggregation is correlating, right? It's correlating condition plus aggregation. And this called as correlation. Understand? If condition matches plus this aggregation matches. If login failure, it will match. If login failure happen, if more than 50 times in 2 minutes, within 2 minutes, it will generate an alert. If it is less than that, it will not generate an alert. In this case, we have given more than in this condition, right? It depends. Right now, we understand if it is more than 50, then it is malicious activities. It is not always dependent on the, for example, if critical server, some of the critical server got shut down single event, it is suspicious. Sometimes you may have to create for multiple event, sometimes for single event, sometimes for 10 events, sometimes for 5 event, right? That means you have to have the condition plus aggregation, how many event in how much time. If both got matches, it will generate an alert. Means SIEM will correlate and generate an alert. Means real-time correlation. It's correlating the event on the real time, right? Real-time monitoring, it's monitoring the event on the it's monitoring each and every event real time, right? Real-time monitoring, correlation, and alerting. So SIEM have another feature called as real-time monitoring. So SIEM is doing the real-time on behalf of us, right? We have asked SIEM, we have tell SIEM, monitor each and every event on behalf of us. Do the real-time correlation and generate alerts. So another feature of SIEM is real-time monitoring, correlation, alerting. So this is one of the use case, correlation alert. In Splunk, we call as correlation searches. That is actually a search query, right? That you write search query, and it's aggregation how many events in how much time. If login failure happen, 50 in 2 minutes, it will generate an alert. Means you need not to monitor login failure. It will happen. It will correlate each and every event. If there are 50 events from same user, we can write also for same users. The option we have to write. If match will happen, it will generate an alert. So you need not to monitor for how many users, how many login failure. Your SIEM will monitor on behalf of you, because you might miss, but this is the tool. Tool is not going to miss. Yes or no? So this is one case for high number of login failure, Windows brute force attack. There will maybe 60, 70, 80 rules, such rules for different suspicious activities. Understand? That we call as correlation rules or use cases. Very, very important, right? So what happens is, that is another work of the SIEM, real-time monitoring, correlation, and alerting. So we'll have several use cases, means correlation rule written on the SIEM, several use cases written on the SIEM, right? And once the condition, once any event come, it will match and it will generate the alert. So we'll have there will be a dashboard on the SIEM. There will be a dedicated dashboard to monitor incident. These alerts to monitor this alert will have a dashboard, incident review dashboard on various SIEMs. Right now, I'm not talking about Splunk or QRadar or ArcSight. I'm talking about generic SIEM. I'm talking about what is car. I'm not talking about what is Mercedes car or Honda City. Okay, so there will be dashboard, incident review dashboard. So whenever correlation rule matches, it will generate an alert. So instead of monitoring billions of events yourself, now you're monitoring few alert, 100, 200 alert. Work got reduced, right? Yes or no? Once, for example, alert trigger, Windows brute force attack detected, means high number of Windows login failure. Once alert triggered, being an analyst, now you have to verify. Alert is saying that Windows, high number of Windows login failure means brute force. Means alert is saying that somebody is doing the brute force. Suspicious Windows login. Yes or no? Alert is saying that suspicious Windows login means brute force attack. Now, being an analyst, you open this alert, you investigate, analyze, and check whether this is actually a brute force or legitimate, means not a brute force attack. It's a normal event. It's a legitimate activity. Legitimate is valid. Get it? Not a brute force. If alert is saying Windows brute force attack or this particular activity, once you analyze, you also found the same. What alert is saying, it's an attack, right? Or it's a suspicious activity. You analyze, you also found the same. That means this case is true positive. And you need to take the action. You need to raise the case and follow the incident response process further. That we'll discuss further. And if alert trigger, for example, Windows brute force attack, you investigated, but you found that no, it's not a brute force activity. It's a legitimate activity. It's a valid case. False, that alert we call as false positive. So whenever alert trigger, you have to check whether alert is true positive or false positive.
False positive.
True positive means alert. What alert is saying, you found the same. Alert is saying attack, you also found yes, attack is malicious activity. It's true positive. When alert is triggered, it's an attack, but you found it's not an attack, it's a legitimate activity, we call as false positive. So being a security analyst, you have to keep an eye. This is what a channel dashboard you monitor 24/7. 95% people, just some brief knowledge I'm giving, will log in a SIEM solution and monitor this dashboard. 95% people here, initial at the beginner level, initial level, up to 3-year people mostly will do this work. Will go open this channel and see alert will trigger based on the priority, based on severity of the incident. Some of the alert have the high severity, higher impact. Some of the alert will have the lower impact, low severity. So high severity incident should be investigated first. Particular incident, once they are, they will have the SLA, service level of agreement, within what period we have to investigate. So we have to follow that as well. Get a mind? So once it trigger, so we have multiple analysts in the shift. So one person, you may have shift lead also, who can allocate and assign this incident. We call that process called annotation process, to ensure that all incidents are being investigated. For example, I am the shift lead today. We have 5 people on the SOC. So I will assign the cases to different people to ensure that we are not missing any incident and to ensure that all people are being load balanced. It's not something that Deepak is doing all analysis, he is not doing. He's doing chilling. Yes or no? So all work is being load balanced, right? And all cases are being investigated, being worked. So that is the annotation process. And we can change the status also. Okay, this work is in progress, resolved, incident raised, right? So once you investigate, certain times you may not be able to take the action because, for example, you seen that IP address is blacklisted IP address and need to block the communication on the firewall. So you raise the case. That's a proper process. We call it incident response process. We'll discuss further on the class. once we move further. So in that case, we have to raise the case and assign to the firewall team to block the IP address. Sometimes you'll raise the case with the desktop team. Sometimes you raise the case to network team. So we have to create the ticket. We have to write the case in the emails, right? So the process we call as incident response process, right? So this is what you are going to do mostly 24/7. So this is main work. So this is another work we call it the SIEM. From the SIEM we can achieve real-time monitoring, correlation, and alerting, and that is the work that you are going to do. So the whole process, what we're going to learn it here. Next class onwards, right? What is the SIEM we understand? What are the various SIEMs are available in the market? Then we'll talk about the Splunk. Why Splunk is leader in the market, as per the Gartner report. Then we have to achieve this two objective. We have to achieve these two objective, right? Second objective you'll write further. You will write, just a moment. Second objective was real-time monitoring, correlation, alerting, that you will write. So two objective which are common. The car objective is to bring you from source to destination. It has steering, it has 4 wheels, clutch. Now automatic is also coming. Gears, right? Either you buy Mercedes or you buy Maruti Alto. The base work remains same, right? Either you spend 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs, or you spend 1.5 CR. The base work is same. The base work remains same, yes or no? Similar SIEM also, base work remain same, any of the SIEM you buy. Having some pros and cons. Some SIEM is having better performance, some more add-on resources, add-on features, but base work is collecting logs from real-time devices, all things, and real-time monitoring, correlation, adding. Now these two objectives will understand how we can achieve from the Splunk, including architecture. Now we have to achieve these two features, right? So now we'll understand what are the various components of a Splunk. Yes or no? Because a Splunk is an enterprise level of tool. Big company deploys, not a small companies. So not one component can do everything. There are multiple components to do this, perform this multiple activities, do activities. What are the architecture? What are the different component? What different component? What does what activities? How they communicate with each other? Means we understand deployment model. Once we understand deployment model, then we'll understand how to install it. We'll install one component, we'll install all in one component, we install it also here, right? Then we'll understand how to get the logs, this more integration, network device, security device, service application, how to get the logs in our Splunk. That is what we have to do, right? So that we need not to log in each and every devices. We log in on the SIEM tool. So how to get the log, means device integration. That process called as device integration. Understand? To enable SIEM feature, we have to get the logs, right? All your network device, security device, servers, application, databases. That process is called as device integration. So once we understand architecture of Splunk, how to install the Splunk, then we understand how to get the logs in our Splunk. Once we get the logs, understand, do it practically, then we'll understand how to search the log. First objective, because to understand, to learn, to achieve those objectives, first of all, we have to set up the architecture, right? Deploy the respective tool. Then first objective, to get the logs, real-time logs. Then only we'll get the logs. Getting the logs, then searching and reporting. How to search the logs? Splunk use different query language, a different way to get the logs. So we understand how to search the logs, how to download the report. First objective. Then we'll do second objective, real-time monitoring, correlation, alerting, right? How to do the log analysis, how to create the correlation searches, correlation rules. Once, how to do this real-time monitoring here. Once any rule trigger, how to do the investigation, how to do the incident response, how to report particular incident to respective team. That is the work of SOC team. Means whole SOC work. Whole SOC work. What exactly SOC team does on a daily basis. You do it here. That means you are working on the company. How you are doing in the company on a day basis. We are doing it here. That means you're working on the company. Understand? You are working in the company, same environment. What shift handover you are sending, what health report you are doing on a daily basis, what incident you are firing on a daily basis in the company, how you investigate that, what are high severity incident which are firing, which fired when you did the shift, what kind of investigation you have done, whole end to end. Yes or no? Everything we are going to cover it here. Right? So be ready. Sometimes you might feel little difficulties. So it's your responsibility to ask the question. Just follow it. I'm telling you, just do not miss anything. You won't have any difficulty. Only thing is once you miss. If you follow it, ask the question. Just do not keep quiet. If you have any questions, I answer silly questions also. I appreciate. But do not ask the question just for the sake of asking. See, I'm giving an option to ask the question, but it is just not to show that you are asking question. I would not appreciate that. I will not appreciate that if you're asking the question, if you're asking question which makes sense, not just for the sake of asking the question, out of the scope questions, right? Just to showcase that you're asking the question. Just to should not be diverting the topic. I'm discussing something and you're asking something else which is not at all related to the topic. You ask the question which will add value in the session. People will appreciate, okay, you ask the question and people also got the knowledge. Okay, good question you ask, right? And because of your question, I explain more topic which I might not be supposed to explain. It's good, right? So we have to utilize this time. Get your point? Yes, you had some question?
Yeah, hi, Sulabh. Can
just give me 1 minute.
SOC
Give me 1 minute. Just give me 1 minute, okay? 1 minute. I'm just coming. 1 minute. Okay, one more thing I would like to tell you that, see, during that, you will have 2 months of access on the Splunk Enterprise, including Splunk Enterprise Secure, 2 months of access, and 1 month of access you will have on the CrowdStrike EDR, which is cloud-based product. You'll have 1 month of access, right? So you understand, initially we'll discuss architecture, we'll discuss the different component, right? Theoretical discussion. So do not get hurry when we'll get the lab access. What will you do during the lab access? Unnecessary time will pass, right? You'll get your time wastage. Once we start practical, you'll get access once we required. So that your 2 months will be covered, right? Unnecessarily, I'll give the access now, time will go. Get in mind? So once we feel that you need access, we'll give the access. Certain components, certain time you have to install in a system, I will tell you how to install, how to get the logs in the system. Once we feel that you need to get the access, you will get the access, right? This course has been designed for you to get the job, to get to hands-on. It's not to make you fool. So do not consider that you will not get access. What is committed means committed. So do not make hurry. Okay, well, when you start practical, when you get the lab access. But yeah, what is committed means committed. My single word is not a miscommitment. So do not make it fast. The course has been designed so that we'll cover the syllabus also, and even we are not committed to the syllabus only. We cover so many topics which are not even part of syllabus. So rest assured. Okay, so if anybody from free training also want to continue, so I will share the contact also in the group, so you can talk to our counselor. Okay, so people who are the part of free training, you'll get a certificate also. Other people will get a certificate in the later period. For free people will get the certificate for SOC foundation course, because this 10 days training was the foundation for the SOC. So you'll get the SOC foundation certificate. So in couple of days, we'll share the form. So you have to fill up the form and ensure that you joined all the sessions either in Zoom, or you have covered all the session on YouTube in case you have not joined live, because certification is just a piece of paper, right? Certificate is just a piece of paper. If you have not gone through the training, means you don't have knowledge, does not make any sense. Certification only makes sense if you have completed this foundation course. Okay. Okay. So now you have question, you can go ahead.
Yeah,
Yes,
hi,
sir. Can SOC team configure the correlation rules, or does a Splunk admin will do that?
That is actually admin role. That is admin role, not L1. Certain L2 may also get, but we will cover it here.
Okay,
We'll
sure.
cover
Got
it here. So, but not, see, many of the topics, see, this, as I mentioned, this training is not only for you to get the job. This training will help you for your future career, means full concept will be clear. So I'm not only focusing about to get the job. Certain time, being L1, for example, being a L1, for example, up to 3 year people, only incident response question will be asked most of the time. Not correlation role, have you created or not. But we'll try cover as much as possible, so that in future also, once you grow in life, you'll grow faster. Because in the company, you do not get a chance, because you have limited access. If you don't have experience, you don't get the chance. So if you learn it here, you'll grow faster, because you will have experience, you'll have knowledge. For people above 3 years, if we cover, that will be helpful for you. That is, it's L1, L2, or many of the L3 activities also we do cover in this training.
Sir, I have some questions, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, sir. Actually, you have previously taught that NAT and that proxy. NAT is being mapped as for a network. Like whenever we are connecting to the internet, it will like convert our private IP to public IP and go to the internet.
Map.
And yeah, map. And the proxy, whenever we are setting the proxy,
right,
the proxy will take the request, and it will, suppose we are going to YouTube and we are connecting the enter the domain name youtube.com, and we are passing the connection through proxy.
Right.
And the proxy will keep the like public IP, like it will not expose our private IP to the public world. Actually.
Correct.
So can we say that it is almost like proxy or netting is as compared to similar?
See, netting kind of things is also happening, because whatever communication happening from, see, if you are in public IP also, it will not go. Private IP also, it will not go. But there is no comparison between netting and proxy. Okay. Netting is just doing the mapping, while proxy is just completely taking the request from you and creating a separate request. While netting is just mapping your IP address.
Okay. And one more question, sir. Actually, whenever in the like corporate world, like whenever we are going to join any kind of organization, EDR, we are aware that EDR can handle the common threats like the ransomware, trojans, or viruses, whatever it is, and as well as it will handle the behavioral approach also, whether we are uploading or downloading. So why, like you have told me that in the class previously that we have to implement the EDR as well as antivirus. So if EDR is like it can handle the common threats as well as the unusual activities also. So is it possible that to implement the EDR only, not the antivirus?
We'll do it in more light on the EDR class. We'll do the complete comparison.
Okay, sir.
Okay, you will able to realize yourself.
Okay, sir.
Hello, please, I have the
Sir.
question.
Yes.
I have one question. So suppose from my laptop, I'm trying to hack SIEMexpert.com, but you have firewall is configured. So you blocked my IP. Okay, but I disconnected. But again, I try to attack. But that time, my laptop is dynamic IP will come, right?
Right.
So how you gonna recognize it? I mean, every time is it gonna recognize MAC address? No, right?
No,
Only
IP
IP address firewall.
Right.
Okay, so I can keep on coming to your firewall. I can break your firewall. Is that correct?
You can't break the firewall because
I mean,
first of all,
I
we
can
have created the role. We have not, because there are certain more type of blocking based on the port blocking, right? Port blocking, what kind of attack it is, what kind of communication you are doing on a particular port. For example, you're doing 443, right? 443, you connect only website. So it depends what kind of communication it is, whether you are sending emails. So based on the email ID, we can block, whether you are in normal communication. So based on that, we can do that. It's not always the IP only.
Suppose I'm trying to send you the phishing email with malware, some file. Okay, I disconnected and again I try to contact trying to send the phishing email. It will go through from the firewall, right? What I'm trying to understand is, so every time dynamic IP,
Dynamic IP address may
it
change,
doesn't.
of course. Dynamic IP address may change. That's why firewall itself may not be sufficient all the time.
Okay.
Because firewall
So
only based on IP address and port number, it does not have actually visibility in the data. So dynamic IP address get changed. Firewall may not be able to block it. Because one IP address is blacklisted, another may not be able to, another may not be blacklisted. So that is the reason
so why we are blocking in the IP in the firewall? Is there any other reason? Just I wanna try to understand.
Because in case same IP being used again, same IP is being used again, so we are blocking it.
Okay, but that IP will allocate it to some other person, right? If he's the legitimate user.
Generally what happens is attacker use the compromised computer. For example, this particular computer is compromised, right? Attacker instead attack to an attacker may also attack using some same computer, so you also get in mind. So that is the reason we are blocking the IP address. Otherwise, if I using ISP IP address, so it may get changed all the time, but may be possible that compromised computer IP may not be changed. Understand? So it may be, it is not something, maybe right now communication is happening. It's not something that, okay, communication is happening right now, I block the IP address. If I'm not blocking, after 6 months, it can again contact. It may not contact after 6 months, but it may be a temporary for few days. For example, this Deepak system has initiated some attack, but he is not a Deepak who has initiated this attack. Deepak system got compromised. Attacker using his machine to initiate the attack. But IP is Deepak's machine. Deepak's machine is going to internet. So I'll have to block Deepak IP address, right? Because Deepak machine has Deepak IP has attacked some other companies. We got to know. So we have to block Deepak IP address. So to safeguard our current requirement, current may be possible that after 4 days, 4 days or 5 days, maybe Deepak machine may be offline, or maybe IP has been assigned to someone else. Yes or no? But current requirement, we have to block it. Because currently we are seeing the communication, so we have to block it. Otherwise, may not be from 6 months, but maybe current communication make an attack. Yes or no? It may change the feature, but what about current communication?
Yeah, that makes sense.
It may
Thank
change
you.
in future, but what about the current communication if you're not blocking? It happens.
Sir, IPv6 to IPv4, that communication between, like, I can say, like, netting between IPv6 and IPv4. Is there any way where
Of
we
course,
can
it's possible. It is
do
possible.
that?
Now that digital routers are coming, so it is possible.
Okay, so could you please help me with some of that vendor which having
All
because
vendors,
Palo Alto is
all
not
vendors are coming. Cisco, most probably Cisco. Cisco.
Yeah, I went through the Cisco, but it's there. But somehow that Palo Alto is not having, because there are two funda in it, NAT 46 and NAT 64. So NAT 64 is supported by that vendor, but NAT 46 is not supported by them.
You can check with Cisco. Cisco must be having.
Cisco. Yeah, I went to the Cisco, but it's having but the cost is also there, sir.
Of course.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, guys. So thank you for joining. We'll continue session tomorrow.
Sir,
I have one question. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Sir, any suggestions for those who want to get into deployment?
Sentinel batch is ongoing, sir.
Hello.
Continue tomorrow onwards. 8:15. 8:15.
No,
Sir,
sir.
any
I am
suggestions
asking about
Hello.
Sentinel,
to deployment?
Microsoft
Sir, I have
Sentinel.
one question, please.
Sir, do you take training for
For any other inquiry, you can contact Uma. For training inquiries, you can contact Uma. I will share the number in the group, so you can contact to her. Okay, she will give you all the information.
Sir, I have some separate kind of question. It's not related to training. It's can I ask you over the call, sir?
What?
That will be better. I have some separate question actually. But it's not related to training actually. So can I ask you on over the call, sir? I think it will be better, sir, because over here it is.
You can drop a message on WhatsApp.
Okay,
you
sir.
May required, I'll
Fine.
give you a call back. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So thank you.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question. If you don't mind, can I ask? Sir, at times जिस तरह malware को FUD के साथ आप करते हैं ना, हाइड कर लेते हैं या fully undetectable कर देते हैं, एक certain iteration के साथ उसको encrypt भी कर देते हैं, उस केस में फिर ये क्या मतलब ये हमें helpful होगा कि ये उसको detect कर लेके भी ये जो है फाइल के अंदर छुपा हुआ है ये malware या जो भी चीज है या वायरस है और उसको जो है ब्लॉक कर ले किस तरह का?
अरे आपको हिंदी समझ में नहीं आ रहा मेरे को यार।
आप जरा फिर से बताइए ये आपका
सर वो शायद ये पूछना चाह रहे हैं कि यदि हमने एनक्रिप्ट करके भेजा है कोई मालवेयर, तो फायरवॉल और ये जो हमारे अदर सिक्योरिटी मेजर्स हैं कैसे काम करेंगे?
Malware is encrypted, right? Encrypted. So malware itself will be not be able to run because it is encrypted until unless you do not decrypt it.
Yes, correct, sir.
So somebody has to have decryption key to decrypt it. Antivirus also will not be able to it and will not be able to scan it. So we can create certain policy in the email gateway. Any emails coming with encrypted files should be quarantined. So certain companies have certain policies. Any emails coming with the file encrypted attachment should be blocked. And then email analyst can ask the justification what file inside. If they found it good, like then release it. Otherwise.
And that thing also is scanned by the EDR or XDR also, sir.
Inside the file without having.
Not inside the file, but if that encrypted file detected into the system, that
any
EDR also
antivirus
can
detect. Any antivirus can detect.
Yes.
Because antivirus will not be able to open it.
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Do we need to install any software on our local system for this training?
Yes, you have to install. Splunk Enterprise you can install. Splunk Enterprise, you access searching reporting, you get it here, but you have to install in your system as well. Practice. Okay.
Sir,
VPN also.
Is it not the cloud environment we can get the access for the lab?
You get the access to the lab in my
Okay.
and you get the access, but you too to do the more practice how to install, right?
Yeah,
you
got
have
it.
to
Thank you.
install in your system as well.
Sir, VM will be sufficient, right?
What?
If we create a VM on
anything, a VM you can create. See, I want operating system, either virtual or physical. Anything is fine. Okay. Okay, guys. So thank you. I I'm
Yes,
actually
sir.
overloaded because I could
Sir,
not
thank you, sir.
sleep it well. I went to a marriage yesterday. I came late night. I could not have. Yesterday I was having headache. I was thinking to take off today because I went to a party yesterday. I came late night. I was thinking I will come late night and take the off today, but I was having head pain yesterday. I had to take off yesterday itself. So I had to take class today. Otherwise, I could not sleep it well. But since we taken yesterday itself off, so it was compulsory to take that class today. Otherwise, I could not sleep it well. I'm not very energetic. I don't have energy, but I had to maintain the energy. That's it. That's the reason. Otherwise, I'm feeling sleepy.
सो जाइए 2-3 घंटा
तो सोना पड़ेगा जाके जल्दी ऑफिस जाके सोऊंगा ये तो फिर से हेडेक हो रहा है वापस हेडेक हो रहा है तो
Okay.
Okay, so
Thank you, sir. Take care, sir.
Okay, thank you.
See you.
Thank you for the session,
Thank you.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you for the session,
Session.
sir.
Okay, see you again tomorrow.
By the way, sir,
Thank you.
like
Thank you,
to
sir.
set up the
Thank you,
data
guys.
Thank you.
For the
Sir,
free
thank you
classes.
very much for the session.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
Till the time,
Thank you, sir. Thank
it's the sessions are very good, Sulabh, and it's pretty very clear to all. I hope so. So
I
things are
hope
going in
you
the
will
right
enjoy
direction.
further session as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Just you have to
Yeah.
keep maintaining the same energy.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Tomorrow at
Have a
8:15 tomorrow.
Bye.
yeah. Have a great day ahead. Thank you.
thank you, sir.